Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Iran says that Trump's 48-hour claim is fake news to manipulate the markets. What do you think? That's crazy talk, minutes before Trump's announcement, $800 million in trades made on oil prices. Pretty sure you'll find similar things on a lot of things being tariffed too. Almost Lyle, it is all a scam to enrich the cabinet and the donors before the big beautiful obituary leaves the GOP with no clear successor who inspires the base to keep supporting him against all reason. Considering 5 minutes before Trump's tweet went out you had $1.5 billion notional worth of S&P 500, ES, futures being bought in a single clip, and then one person also sold $192 million of oil futures with info that only could have come from Trump. It's absolutely a scam, just like the other market manipulations. I mean, it's not like this was a WH press briefing where maybe a dozen plus people were helping put out this briefing. This was Trump or one or two handlers writing the tweet, meaning it had to be insider trading and corruption from Trump that transferred $2 trillion in wealth. Follow the money! Exclamation mark. Yay, sounds about correct. I trust Iran. Oof, what a hard upvote. But yeah, it's true. You know it's bad when you believe the Iranians over our own president. And China is the voice of reason in the situation. Agreed. Several unusually large trades occurred right before his announcement. $1.5 billion notional worth of S&P 500, ES, futures are bought in a single clip, and one other person, or the same, sold $192 million in oil futures 5 minutes before Trump's tweet went out. There is no mistaking this lie as anything but market manipulation for someone to make tens of billions if not more. Follow the money. Sure, let me get my SEC buddies on it right away. Oh wait, they're actually Trump's friends. Golly, you really think Donald Trump would manipulate the markets? It's absurd. Trump is a honest, stand-up guy, more of a lean-forward kinda guy. I don't believe anything Trump says. Gas went over $4 in my area today. His threats did not change a thing. Over $4. We should be so lucky. Getting very close to $5 here in Oregon. I'm paying 5.39 to 5.59. It's sad when I believe the country we have an active conflict with is a more reliable source of information than the president of my country. Edited to change war to conflict, so I don't imply Trump has gotten us into a war without approval from Congress. Remember, we're not at war because that would violate the Constitution. It's fucking insane. I believe the Iranians more than my own government. IDK, it seems pretty reasonable. It would be insane to trust anything that comes out of Trump's mouth at this point. Everything he says, it's like, well, maybe. If you say everything, more or less half of it is likely to be true, and that's what we've got. The entire thing is a scam. The billionaires extracted as much money as possible from us in private industry. So now they are stealing all of our tax money, and worse, getting the country into horrible debt while stealing all that money. Then they will run out the back door as we collapse into a Great Depression. They are enemies to America, they are traitors, and Trump is the worst one. They should all be prosecuted as traitors to America. It's a fucking outrage that when Americans are feeling the pain from a war, the president started to distract from the fact he's a child rapist. He pulls an insider trading scheme to enrich himself and fuck over his voters. I wish I could say I was surprised that the piece of orange garbage is so shameless. Be prepared, people. Trump won't go except kicking and screaming, and this November it may fall to us to save this country from his tyranny. A big part of this is going to be a Trump-Gaza development led by Kushner and Witkoff. Two liars, envoys, who enabled this whole fucking war for Netanyahu. There's never been a bona fide negotiation. It's the job of the Secretary of State, Rubio, not two real estate guys with no Middle Eastern experience, except bribes and promises. Well, of the two, Iran has never lied to me. Trump, on the other hand, sounds very on brand for Trump. I think Trump is stalling until those Marine Corps mois arrive in the Gulf. Japan-based MEU will perhaps be off Oman's Indian Ocean coast by March 27, San Diego-based MEU around the 1st of April. When the mois arrive on station, expect the US to try and take Iran's Karg Island, and establish small footholds on Iran's southern coastline around the Straits of Hormuz. Capturing Karg is about trying to economically strangle Iran, while the Straits footholds will be about trying to end the closure of the Gulf to shipping. I can imagine the pep talk those Marines are getting in the boat now. Some of you won't be coming back, but hopefully we'll get prices under $4 a gallon at the pump. For Epstein, taking Karg Island won't do anything. The street will still be blocked, they won't control the oil rigs, and as soldiers will be sitting ducks for those drones. You are correct, but Trump is going to try it anyway. He believes it's going to be his source of leverage to reopen the strait. The whole ballgame right now is to lie his ass off to forestall a market crash until markets close on Friday and the 31st MEU can launch. This is counter to all the recent moves he just made and doesn't make much sense anymore, as I thought the same thing when I heard about the 2,500 Marines initially. Since then though, they have done everything to artificially keep oil and gas prices down, even removing sanctions on Iranian gas and oil exports and essentially paying ransoms to allow the transit of oil through the strait that just made Trump and his regime look like the most incompetent bunch of idiots ever. I mean, before the war Iran was exporting 1.1 million barrels of oil per day and now are doing 1.5 million barrels of oil per day, and that's not getting into their other products exported like LNG that have also boomed recently. So if they take Karg Island, it will skyrocket the price of oil immediately, and that's even before Iran makes good on their promise to destroy the Middle East's oil production facilities, which will keep prices high for a very long time. Trump can't afford that domestically or internationally, and diesel is only 53 cents from a record high and $1.60 more expensive than a month ago, with gas AVG at $3.96. That adds extreme pressure on the already stressed affordability crisis he has created, assuring massive defeat in the midterms if not worse for him. My dear child, the Republicans want to pass the SAVE Act so only people they like will vote. Trump does not care about poor people's opinions. He does not intend to leave office. Yes, he's been doing it since he took office. His family's wealth has grown significantly in the last year, at least $4 billion in 1 year, without any announced reasons or rationales, just dark money pouring into overseas bank accounts. Let me explain what just happened. 5 minutes before the president announced a halt to attacks on Iran, someone placed a $1.5 billion bet on stocks going up and dumped $192 million in oil. 5 minutes. These trades were 4 to 6 times larger than anything else in the entire market. Whoever did this wasn't guessing. You don't risk $1.5 billion on a hunch. There was zero public indication this announcement was coming. No leaks, no press, nothing. The only people who knew were in the room when the decision was made. Someone in that room picked up a phone, and within minutes they made more money than most Americans will earn in 1,000 lifetimes. In a single trade, on a war that cost you $4 plus a gallon gas and $16 billion in tax dollars. American citizens funded this war. Politicians are profiting from it. This is not the first time. Every major announcement from this administration has had massive suspicious trades right before it dropped. Tariff reversals, policy shifts, war decisions. This is the most blatant insider trading operation in the history of American politics. It's not even close, and it's happening over and over in broad daylight. You would go to federal prison for trading on a tip from your cousin. These people are front-running war decisions with billion-dollar bets, and nobody will ever ask a single question. Nobody will be investigated. Nobody will be charged. By tomorrow this will be buried under the next satisfying headline. Just like last time, and the time before that. The game is rigged, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Iran is more believable than Trump. It's disappointing that Iran is not afraid to tell us that the emperor has no clothes, but most mainstream media is still gushing about how he's wearing only the finest fabrics and his clothes look fantastic. It's not hard to spot how even the local so-called news outlets report what Trump says about everything, but they never follow up or dig deeper to show that everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. They even pepper in Trump's commentary on stories that would never have merited presidential attention before Trump, like entertainment, news. I think it's lies released to manipulate the markets. Don't minimize the crimes with ambiguous terms. Very on brand for John Barron. Everyone in the world minus 30% of Americans know that he is the biggest and best con man who ever lived. I'll give him that, but the wheels always fall off eventually. There are many better con men, they just don't try all day every day. I mean 70% of the time the things he says are designed to manipulate markets. If at any point you think he is saying something to help himself or his buddies get rich, you're probably spot on. That's almost everything Trump says. I actually believe Iran, since Trump and company continually lie about everything. Sad but true. Iranians are the go-to regime if you want the truth here. Unbelievable. I believe Iran over Trump at this point. I actually believe Iran. I mean, obviously that's the case. Trump is unhinged and crazy though, so his mind will change every sentence. He's senile enough that he doesn't realize he's actually the president and not the main character on a reality TV show. He probably remembers a phone call, a long beautiful phone call, a phone call like you've never seen. He probably got off the phone and said, "Melania, that was a long beautiful phone call." I think both Trump and Iran are doing their best to send whatever messages are in their own respective interests. Trump probably just typed he would hit power plants without actually taking advice from his senior advisors, who all probably told him after the fact it's a horrible idea. Someone needs to take his phone away from him, lol. Someone needs to take the presidency away from him. Neither gives a crap about the US or the people of the US. But one of them lies and says they do. More likely he's trying to buy time, because he has no damn clue what he's doing. 100% Trump, Mo. Guy's a piece of shit. I think it is proven behind a shadow of a doubt that in this case and many others, Trump has been blatantly engaging in market manipulation. The world is suffering the consequences of his bottomless greed. Not only am I agreeing with an adversary country that we, the US, initiated a war with, it pains me greatly that their news reporting is almost certainly more honest. On the flip side, we have Trump and his lackey leadership shamelessly trying to dismantle the concept of civilian leadership over the military, but a full frontal assault on the Constitution.